you may have heard of Delcy, Life of Heritage, alifeofheritage.com, and there's another lady, her name is Deborah Neiman, and she has, anyway, these are two ladies that I have followed and that I have bought product for to understand my goats. And Delcy has, I'm not sponsoring or anything, but at A Life of Heritage she has a goat binder, and I really appreciate it because I'm new to this goat thing and I want to be able to take care of them the best I can with the best information, and she's got a lot of great information. Deborah Neiman has books on goats, and they're excellent. I really love them because honestly goats are relatively simple to take care of. And but she clarifies some things like deworming and that sort of thing, and so I love it. So today, me and my older girls, we're going to take some pictures of our goats to put into our goat binder that we bought from A Life of Heritage, and get them into our books. The one thing that you learn about homesteading life is that there are a lot of ups and downs, and they can all happen in one day. As you know, if you've been watching our channel for a bit, we ordered 75 chicks from Meyer Hatchery. They all came alive plus 5, so we had a total of 80 chicks to start out with our broilers. Well, I think I was very ill prepared for that, because out of those 80 chicks, right now we only have 20 that are still alive. And we're about a week and a half from processing. So let me explain to you what happened and why we have so few. Okay, my first problem was that I was not prepared with a brooder, and so we figured out the brooder situation. Second problem, I had a heat lamp, which was fine, and I had a heat plate in the brooder, and I forgot to lift both of them to start reducing the heat in the brooder for my chicks. Third problem is I left them in the brooder a week longer than I really wanted to, mostly because it was so cold. So I don't recommend, if it's really cold, doing broilers unless you have a really good shelter where they can be out of the wind and out of the rain and all of that. The next problem I had, fourth problem, is that I did not start rationing the food. And the thing with Cornish cross broilers is that they will just eat and eat and eat. And so I need to be rationing their food. So those are some things to remember. You know, so all of the problems that I've had with the broilers have been my own fault. Of things that I already knew. I already knew most of these things. Some of these things came as a surprise. So what I've done is I still have 2 rounds of broilers coming, but I called and I reduced them to 40 chickens instead of 75. I know I have room for 40. I know that I can do 40 without too much problem. I will still have loss, but it won't be as great. It won't be as big of a problem. And so I've taken my notes, and I will be better prepared to take care of these broilers the next time and have a larger amount that I'm going to harvest. My goal next year, I don't know if I'll do any broilers next year, because what I want to be doing is raising my light Sussex chickens which are my really big dual purpose chickens. I want to be breeding them and hatching their chicks and raising them up to harvest for meat. I want to be more self-sustaining. So I'm probably not going to be able to do the full video on whether it's cost effective to raise broilers with 75 broilers and selling them, because of the lower amount, I will be keeping the meat from all of the broilers that I harvest, and that'll go in my freezer. But we can at least get you a cost effectiveness as far as how much food does it actually cost and how much does chicken cost in the store. But you know, there's intrinsic value in that you know what you've fed your chickens, and you know where it came from, and you're not contributing to issues in a chicken factory, that kind of thing, if you're into that. So anyway, that's where we are. We've taken the pictures of our goats, getting them into our binder. I'll show you that binder here in a minute. And but you know, there's also the ups of homesteading, and one of the ups is just being able to build things on the homestead to make it more beautiful. You've heard the sawing in my background. We're almost done getting our deck installed, and we're thrilled about that. We're going to have this really great deck for family parties. The next project will be getting garden beds in and getting backyard grass in, because we're ready for that as well. So along with the ups and downs, along with the downs of homesteading, there's also some really good ups. So part of our ups here have been our chicks hatching. We had some chicks in the incubator, and we were able to hatch 3 little chickies. I'll show these guys to you. These are our cute little cream leg bars. You might have heard of them as crested cream leg bars. When they get big, they get a little floof on the top of their head. Nothing as amazing as like a Polish or anything. You can kind of see this one here with its little poof. That one's called Puffy. The fun thing about crested cream leg bars is that they are sex linked, which means you can tell what they are when they're born. If you look at the back of these two, you can see like they're chipmunk stripes, right? Very defined, very dark. If you look at this little guy, he's got a yellow spot on his head, and he doesn't have a very defined stripe on his back. And so he's our little boy. So we ended up with 2 girls and a boy of our crested cream leg bars. And they're sweet. They're so cute. They don't like us touching them as much. They're not as friendly as some of our other chickens. But they're still fun, and they're still adorable. So cute. We have a really windy day. We've got some wind and some rain. We need the rain, so we're happy about that. I don't like the wind so much. So earlier in the video, I was telling you about Delcy from alifeofheritage.com and her goat binder. And so she sends you a hard copy like this. It's just paper pack. But you can, when you order, you also have the option of getting the digital copy, which I highly recommend, because part of it is having these goat records where you can put their pictures and this kind of stuff. And if your herd changes a lot, you're going to want to be able to print or copy these extra pages. Now, you can take this. You could probably take it to a printer, have them cut the binding off, and then punch it for you to put into a 3-ring binder. And then you could just make copies from those pages as well. So this is why I wanted to take pictures of my goats, because I'm going to take my copies that I've made, and I'm going to make myself a really nice goat binder that I can keep track of all of my goats in the binder. The other thing I really like about this is that it has informational pages. Who do you call in an emergency? How are you going to transport? What are we going to do? Are we going to do a necropsy if they die? What are some herbal remedies or homemade remedies for different things? What kinds of tools and things do you need when you're kidding? What kind of other things do you need to take care of your goats in an appropriate way? So it has all sorts of great things. This part over here, if I can get to that, I have actually used already because I'd never trimmed hooves before. And so she has a really great diagram and instructions on how to do hoof trimming. So if you are a beginning goat person, haven't been doing it for very long, or want to get started, I do recommend Delcy from A Life of Heritage, her goat binder. I'm loving my goats, and we're having lots of fun with them. Glad you could join us. Hope you'll subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.